Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier review. Yes, it's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The thes are there, everything like that. I am, oh boy, I'm the captain, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by a man who's usually not wearing the blanket in these reviews, but tonight he is.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
not
believe he's
you.
talking
You're
about
not
me.
wearing, you're not wearing the blanket, Taylor. Why would you think that?
I didn't say anything.
I am the winged Kirklin Panzer.
The winged.
I really want to emphasize to get that ED in there.
And finally, we're joined by.
I'm the battleship Taylor Field.
Oh, very nice. Some spoilers, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Taylor Field, where can they find us? We'll give our overalls and we'll get into where can they find us on the interwebs?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. Be sure to check us out on our Facebook because we have our fan base community poll popping off all about Godzilla right now. So it's anticipation for Godzilla coming out at the end of this month. It's a lot
Go
of good
vote for Jet
content.
Jaguar. Go
Yeah,
vote.
he's struggling. I feel bad. I really wanted
Yeah.
him to take the win, but it's hard.
I would have maybe believed in God if Jet Jaguar would have won the whole thing, but it's looking like his time is over. So he may have the first round because now he's going. He won the first round, then he goes up against King Kong. Just brutal. Like
Yeah,
you hate to see it.
that is brutal. Honestly, like I'm just telling you, it's gonna be 3 Godzillas versus 3 King Kongs. It's gonna be absolutely horrendous.
Taylor's just gonna go fucking bananas over that. So, just go down the link below, and everything is there for our schedule, where you can find us, where you can subscribe for our YouTube and video and audio feeds. If you go to Patreon, you can get ad-free, exclusive, early episodes. We just did the Snyder Cut review of the Zack Snyder Justice League. Thank you to everybody that's already listened to that. It's doing very well. If you liked that on Patreon, we have the PBS commentary track, and you take a stroll down memory lane for the 2017 Justice League. We did Man of Steel retro, which is on the main feed. But go check out that review. It's almost 3 hours of breaking down that whole movie. So really good. I don't know. I don't want to put you guys on the spot. I should ask, do you guys have a day this week that you are planning on streaming? And if so, do you guys have a game or is that still TBD?
I think we've narrowed down the game. Have not solidified a date yet.
Preferably the Sunday. The Saturday
Okay,
I will be
that
busy.
that works. That
I,
works perfect
I
for me.
wrote it in the
So
calendar too that I'm busy. What was the
just
game we
shot it in.
solidified, by the way?
Dead by
Sneaking.
Daylight.
Dead by
Of
Daylight.
course.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So Sunday. There you go. This just in. Breaking news. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, sneaking next time. So they keep telling me they're gonna do. But yeah, or like Taylor talked about before, as far as Twitter and Facebook, just follow those, like those, and you'll get updates. So I think that is everything. Go check out the podcast network, Patreon. We'll have some ads in this episode, a whole bunch of stuff. But it's late, and we've had. I'm excited for this review to be over because we've had a late couple of nights. We did the Snyder Cut last night, now this. So next week we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming. But Taylor, I'm interested to hear from you. What did you think about this? Is the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, MCU's second Disney Plus series. Was supposed to be the first, but because of COVID and whatnot, here we are. What are your initial thoughts, obviously non-spoilers, coming out of this episode?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Of course, right off the bat, it's very different from the magical realm of Westview that we just experienced. So that being said, this is a world that, again, as much as I love the magical stuff they're diving into, I really like this world and the like Captain America, Winter Soldier aesthetic and vibes, like
Mm-hmm.
that world and that world building that they're doing. I love the environment. I love these characters, and I love how there's so much going on in this episode, but it doesn't feel like it's too much. Yeah, it is like obviously 10 minutes of credits still, but it's like a 40-minute long episode including the credits, and there's so like what was it, like 46 minutes?
49, I think.
Was it 49 minutes? Okay.
Or like 48.
I saw 50 on my Disney Plus.
50.
Okay.
I don't remember a
49, 55. We'll go with.
5.
Final answer. Lock that in.
But yeah, like there was a lot going on, but it didn't ever feel like it was too much. I feel like it was just a good stepping stone. We got answers to certain questions that I had, like coming out of Endgame, like where they were going to pick up and where they were going with it, and they addressed certain things, and it showed the struggle. We got more information about like blip stuff. Like obviously they're gonna dabble in that because that's just it's a big thing with all this content. But they tackled some things and they sprinkled in new storylines and new issues, which again I'm excited to learn more about. So I'm really excited. I'm very very excited.
It was 49 minutes. I swear my app on the TV said 50, but the app on the phone says 49. So I'm gonna look
Yeah.
into it still. I'm gonna figure it out. But what about you,
I
Kirkland?
um I mean for the record, when I booted up the episode, I was hoping to not see like an hour and a half. Just I didn't think I was gonna last. Honestly, I was happy with the
4 hours
49.
like the Snyder cut.
Yeah, can't do it.
What the fuck?
Sorry.
Yeah, we're just dropping the whole series tonight. All right, that
Oh,
doesn't seem
dear.
like a good marketing plan, but
Yeah.
okay.
I would not be sleeping. Um,
No.
yeah, so going into this one, especially coming off WandaVision, just for how like magical and just wild that show was, I was pretty, I don't know, excited to kind of just get back to like the Avengers or not even Avengers feel, just like Captain America type feels, where it's just like, if anything, maybe like a super soldier, but kind of grounded, in the sense of like we just really have like army men again and not witches and all this wild magic. So I was kind of looking forward to jumping back into this. I really had no idea what like the main mission would be for these guys. I thought they kind of, I don't know, ended this episode in a good way that I kind of know what the idea of the show is going to be. I thought they did really good job introducing the two main protagonists. I liked seeing a lot of the action stuff. Overall, I thought it was pretty good first episode. It's nothing that uh like blew my mind because it was
Mhm.
just so wild and different like the first episode of WandaVision was. I feel like there's gonna be so many comparisons between the two shows just because these are like the the first MCU shows.
Yeah.
Um, and while I was watching it, I just had to keep reminding myself, I'm like, man, this is like the same universe that like WandaVision's in. Like it's so different, like such a different vibe and but it's the same universe and overall I thought it was a good first episode and I'm excited for next week's. Didn't blow my mind by any means, but
Mhm.
yeah, overall I was pretty positive on it.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it again tomorrow because I did say wait for the whole thing, but I was not groggy, but definitely a bit tired because like last night was a big review for us. The Snyder Cut like that took a while. That was long. Like the
Yeah.
watching it was 4 hours and reviewing and cast. So like it was like a 7 to 8 hour process that movie. So I was ready for like an early night, but obviously not with this. I. So I don't think that was it though. I think it's just kind of what I worried about. Is I liked the episode, but it was what I've been talking about for weeks as far as with this versus WandaVision. And like you said, Kirkland, like I guess it's kind of unfortunate, but we like that comparison. It's just gonna happen, you know. Like you compare, it's the same thing. People don't like to compare Marvel and DC, but it's like it happens, right? So it's like these make sense. They're two MCU shows, the first time ever, and WandaVision for me was kind of a home run in many aspects. Of course, you're going to compare it to that, and I think that was my worry with this show from the previews was okay, when this first episode ends, how am I gonna feel? Am I gonna feel like WandaVision, where it's like I can't wait to talk about this, I can't wait
Yeah.
to talk about theories, I can't wait to get going, or is it gonna be like, oh yeah, that was good, I'll be back next week, but I don't feel that rush of like when we got those first two episodes of WandaVision, right when those ended, I could not wait for the next week. I was like in
Yeah.
that sense of like I need to see this all right now. Now, of course, if someone came to me and said, "Hey, I have all episodes," yeah, I'd say yeah, but I'm not in the same height as I was with that, and I
Yeah.
think it is different because it is a very much different world. But it's just that I think the beginning here, it's kind of almost similar to WandaVision, where it's like we know, okay, we are eventually going to get to the MCU stuff. We just got to get through some of these shows. But the thing was, surprised me with WandaVision was I actually end up liking the world the shows were in. As we talked about in the review, I always thought, that might drag for me, and I just want to get back to the MCU verse with these characters. But I liked them both for almost the whole show. Where this, it's not that they were divided into things, but I was kind of same thing as the previous, like, okay, I like this to a certain level. It's up to the show to get past that. Now, this is only a first episode. I don't think it's a bad episode. I think it's a really good one. I think it's a good setup one, but it's like I said, I didn't walk away being like, wow. I
Yeah.
this is a series so far where with WandaVision, I was like to people like, you gotta watch this is really crazy. I think this is one that I could probably say wait 3 or 4 episodes and then tell people to jump in, because I think there was some good setup and there's some good character pieces. And I think, like Taylor talked about, the best part was seeing where the world is, because this is 6 months later after Endgame, so we're seeing a lot of actual real world stakes. Where one is, of course, a real world, but it's like dealing with magic and robots and stuff like that. This is, trying to, like, minor spoilers, trying to get a loan, but it's like, hey, you haven't worked in the past 5 years, but it's like, well, no, fuck, I've been blipped.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a weird flaw. Like, so there's like real world stuff, and they did talk about this before, and this is like, again, minor spoilers, but I'm happy it seems like it's gonna be an issue of the show, is race. That came up a few times in the show, which I really like, because I was like, are they just saying this in the interviews to be like, yeah, we're gonna tackle what it means to be like a black man being Captain America, and just like a little tough, but throughout the show there's like different mentions and different things. So there's lots I did like in this episode. I just wasn't blown away. I wasn't,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not jonesing for next week. I'll be excited once we get there, but yeah, I think it was a good introduction, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting too if you just look back at like the original plan for the release of these two shows, how
Mm-hmm.
like this was supposed to come out first, and then just due to COVID, they had just more footage with WandaVision, so I guess they just pushed that one out first. But I I was like, originally I'm like, okay, you have the Falcon Winter Soldier show that will kind of like get my vibes of what an MCU TV show will be like, and then we'll jump into the craziness, and then after that the next show what would be Loki, which is probably going to be another crazy show. Um, so I'm curious once the show's over if I look back on like maybe it was a negative, that they didn't have this one come out first. I don't think it'll matter too much in the end, but I am kind of curious of just how different our perception of the show might have been if like this came out first. Because if this was the first MCU show, I'm curious if we would just be hyped, like, oh my gosh, can you believe that
Yeah.
we're watching an MCU TV show, with these characters? Um, it is tough when you have something like WandaVision that I feel like we all just absolutely loved. So I don't know.
Well, and I feel like it's tough for this too. And in the YouTube chat, someone says, I just finished watching Justice League. Well, you can go check out our review after that. It's down there on the audio feeds and whatnot. But yeah, we're definitely talking about Falcon
You're
and Winter
you're in the
Soldier right now.
Marvel review here. The
Yeah.
wrong
I feel like
company.
that's happened a couple of times when someone comes to us. Remember in that
Yeah.
newscast? And they're like, you guys tell us? It's like, nope, we talked about that like 2 hours ago. But thanks for joining, anyways. Yeah, it is interesting because I feel that with this show, it has that thing where the first few episodes we're gonna know some of the beats because of trailers. Like, we knew the fake Captain America was coming. We didn't know it was the end of this episode, but I even said that on Marvel Alliance. I said the ending will be introducing fake Captain America. I just feel like that's the way we go. I guarantee you, whether it's next week or episode 3, one of those stingers will be Zemo. Like, that'll be him reemerging and stuff. So I think, because there's 6 episodes, so I think these first 3, and so far, if the rest of the series is like this, I'm happy. It's a good show. That's
Yeah.
that's all it comes to. Like, I could have been here being like, man, they like dropped the ball or this sucks. No, not at all. I know people might sound disappointed. It's just that I was just wanting it to exceed my expectations, like WandaVision did, and when it didn't, it just kind of met them. I went, okay, that's where it is. But I think these first 3 episodes will get a lot of good character stuff. But I think lots of the bigger shocks, or not that you need reveals, but a bit more story beats will come in the last 3, because, like I said, we know Zemo's coming. We know we had to get to fake Captain America. We know Sam and Bucky are going to have to meet up at some point. So we're going to have to hit those kind of tropes, almost like when you're watching an action movie in the first half an hour, you've seen it all in the trailer and oh, this is the incident, this is that. So
Yeah.
kind of like that. But is there anything non-sport else we want to see? Or talk
Nope.
about, not see. Want to see it all, of course, but... All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to throw to our first ad break, and then after that is your last chance, because we're going to be deep diving, flying into spoilers. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So we're going to talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm going to give the floor to you, Kirklin Patzer. Who should we start off with, Sam or Bucky, our 2 leads in this project?
I mean, naturally, you might want to go Sam just because his first appearance, but I want to go Bucky because
Sure.
I really liked how like his introduction to the show was, how it started with him as like the Winter Soldier
Oh
assassin.
yeah, it was great to
Um,
see that back.
it
That
it was
music
great to
back
see
and
that.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I just love that look. He's probably one of like the coolest looking characters in the MCU, just with the mask and everything, and the long hair and the menacing arm. But I loved all that, and then how it just kind of transitioned to like a nightmare, and then we kind of ease into just his like mental struggles that he's been going with, because
Hmm.
I feel like that's just going to be kind of a running theme for the next few pieces of MCU that we get, because like, a lot of these characters, the last time we saw them was the Infinity War Endgame shit, and like that is some traumatic stuff, like a lot of them
That's the
lost their
lowest
best
of the
friend.
low for them.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I really like the shots that they had with like the therapy session. It kept like kind of doing a zoom in thing. I feel
It
like
was
some people,
really zoomed in.
it was
It
very
was like
zoomed in. Yeah, I was watching it. I'm like, man, I feel like so many people are gonna have issues with this, but for me, it just, I don't know, it worked. I really liked that stuff with him and his psychiatrist, and I just like how it started of like a very like I don't know, we're seeing his mental struggles
mhm.
on someone like that, like literally brainwashed, was an assassin, just lost his best friend, like the only person that he had from that time where he originally was from. Um,
Blipped
I don't
for
know.
5 years.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like all these things, and I feel like that'll kind of be a running theme throughout the show for Bucky specifically. Obviously Sam has his own stuff going on as well, but I don't know. I really like that introduction, and yeah, the Winter Soldier stuff was awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Just I always love the look of that. I still miss the goggles. I always like when Winter Soldier has the goggles and the black face
The
paint. But
black,
that's
yeah,
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 that's fine. It still worked. But yeah, the music being back. But yeah, I like that because they had talked about that they were gonna almost deal with this in like a PTSD sort of way. And I think for me and Dylan as well, like we talk about this all the time, where Bucky, it's just as he's been really nothing in these past few movies. He's just kind of there. He's a
yeah,
MacGuffin. He's just a friend. He's just like a plot point. He's not really he hasn't been a character in a long time, and I honestly could argue, looking back at all his appearances, he's never really been a character. Like when we meet him, he's Steve's friend. When we find him Winter Soldier, like I said, he's the MacGuffin. You got to stop him. In Civil War again, he's the MacGuffin, and we got to find him. And then in Infinity War and Endgame, he's just like there as a fighter. So it's like he's never had his story really. It's always been about how does he relate to Cap or Steve, right? So it's like good to see him. Obviously, he'll link up with Sam, but it's good to see him on his own because okay, what is his story? And his story is yeah, he's really fucked up. He's probably more fucked up than most of these other people because like he's killed a bunch of innocent people
yeah,
and he had no choice over it. So I like that. The zooms in on the face were I liked it for the most part, but it just was like I don't know if it was neat. I get what they're going for. It was a style choice, but I was like, okay, I think we could switch it up. But
yeah,
I think I like where we're going with him. I like that he is on this like redemption sort of tier, even though he's redeeming himself for things that he didn't choose to do. And it's
yeah,
just like, and it's sad because this little guy that he's hanging out with, this older gentleman, I feel like whoever the person is he lost, clearly Winter Soldier killed this person. I'm assuming. I'm not sure if that's how you guys read it. Like he has this friend there, right? Like that's what
yeah.
I'm assuming that he's just kind of
Well,
building up to tell him maybe.
his name was on his list, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was like
see,
the
I
number
missed
one
that
name.
part.
Well,
I knew he
you
had the
guys
list, but I
know
missed.
that was the kid he killed at the beginning, right?
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
So
okay, there
so
you go.
like in the flashback.
Yeah,
Oh,
when he
not
was
there.
shaking, putting the key in the door, that's the son that he killed.
Oh no. So then he has.
Oh,
So I
okay.
didn't see. I didn't tie that bit. There's the groggy brain. So I knew that that's the route they're going. But yeah, like that's gonna be interesting. Even though the guy's probably gonna be like, "Why the fuck have you been hanging out with me for like weeks and being my friend?" But I guess he just obviously feels bad because probably killing this guy's son put this guy's life on a complete different path, right? Like very depressing. So I like that this man who has to redeem for things that he didn't do, but he has complete memories of. It's almost like Vision, like we talked about last week with or 2 weeks ago with the memories of him seeing like his whole life. That's kind of Bucky. He has all these memories. He didn't do these things, but
Hmm.
he knows how it felt to kill these people. He knows the emotions, and yeah, not great for him.
Um, yeah, the PTSD that Bucky is just putting out there is insane. I again, like
That he's putting
yeah,
out
he's
there.
putting out there, like is emanating off of him. his whole performance so far in this one episode, even though it was like total like 5 minutes of screen time, like I just loved. I know that I'm sold already on Bucky in this, and we'll obviously get to Falcon when we get to Falcon, but yeah, Bucky alone, like it was awesome. And again, you're right, that scene when he came back in that flashback scene, I thought it was the real deal. I was like, okay, is this Baron Zemo pretending to be Winter Soldier to frame him again? Like, what's going on here? What is this bullshit? And sure enough, like I my jaw dropped because I just felt so bad for this kid. I just wanted him to get inside, and he couldn't get inside in time, and he gets killed. And yeah, just stacking it up because like I didn't connect the dots that that was the son of this older gentleman, but then like when you hear like that Winter Soldier tune cue when he says like it starts talking about his son, and you just see the look on the Winter Soldier's face. I'm just thinking, oh shit, like he's one of the people that he killed. Then I'm getting flashbacks to Civil War when Tony's like, did you hear, like, even remember them? And he's like, I remember all of them. Like just that intensity of that is just crazy. So like again, like you said, we don't get to see Bucky's story in all these films. He's just there, and just to have the weight of that moment on him, like again from Civil War, we got that sprinkled in, but then the weight of it in this moment for his character, and this is just the start of it, just was so intense, and it's gonna be such a good journey, and I can't wait to see his redemption and how he overcomes these things and where it goes. Because even when he's talking to the counselor, and he's tiptoeing around the idea of like just again peace and wanting to just be, again she puts it in like you're free, you can do whatever you want, but for him it's not just about being free. He wants to figure out what he wants to do, and it's not to fight, even though I know he's gonna get shafted into fighting in this series.
Yeah.
So I really feel for him. Like he's just another Marvel character post Endgame you just feel terrible for.
World's on the line. No, I'm not gonna fight. We really need you, Bucky.
He's
I'm
got a
not
desk
doing
job now.
Yeah. I got a girlfriend now. She likes my metal arm. But that's one thing like we learned with WandaVision, and I think this episode did show that for both Sam and Bucky. As far as Sam, I feel like you got to learn more about him. Two things as far as like his relationship with that shield, and we talk a lot about that. We'll talk more about that coming up, but then also just his family life, so that you get to flush him out. And then like with Bucky, it's like for them in the movies just to be like, yeah, he's a messed up guy, that's one thing, but to show it and to show these what, like, to get his perspective from it and not other people telling us what's going through Bucky's mind, actually be seeing that. And that's one thing where this is only episode 1, so I imagine 5 more episodes of this, I think these characters will be really fleshed out by the time we get to it. And that is the great thing about, I think, Disney Plus, these shows so far, even this episode, as far as me being maybe not like overly hyped, but I think as far as the quality, as far as this character development is going to be there. And I enjoyed, I think, everything they did with Bucky. At first, when they were doing the Winter Soldier thing, I thought, oh, is this him being Winter Soldier, but now like in control as a good guy, like how we had Falcon where he was doing like a mission at the beginning. I was like, oh, is he doing a mission as well somewhere else? But
Right.
he's like, but then he's like, no, he has the short hair. He woke up, he's like, okay, clearly, and he,
yeah.
he was starting to act a little creepy there near the end. So it's like, okay, this is this is not the White Wolf. This is the Winter Soldier. So, but I'm very interested to see where he ends up in this series.
Yeah, no, me too. Just for like how damaged mentally and he is as a character. I'm curious if I don't know, like, does he go off in the sunset at the end of this, or does he get his own spin-off stuff? 'Cause who knows? I'm very intrigued.
I wanted to make a prediction that he would get, like, he would inherit Cap's shield and he would become that next, because I just felt like, again, I know there's going to be like an interesting intrigue.
That's
again
your
with Falcon.
prediction?
No, like
That he's gonna become Captain America?
I wanted
No.
to make it because like it seems to me, it seems like the way Falcon just is handling it. And again, I know they're gonna drift it back to where Falcon obviously gets it and he's gonna use it, but I just feel like the way the shield is kind of, the relationship with the shield between Bucky and Steve Rogers in the past, I always feel like it's just kind of been like a good balance between the two of them, and there's just like a good, like it's like a good relationship. And I feel like there's so many times where it syncs so well with Bucky, and maybe that's just me. I just feel like he's really good executing with it, and he's just using it, and I just feel like it's like that one again, like yin and yang, and then there's that shield in between the two, and I just feel like it's a good balance between the
No.
two.
I
Um,
I just feel like if you're gonna leave the shield to a guy, you're not gonna leave it to the guy who's like having therapist meetings, suffering from PTSD, who doesn't even know himself. Like, it feels like Sam just doesn't want to take it because that's Steve's and that's his shield, and I don't know if I can live up to that. Where Bucky to me is just like I don't think he would. Like, you're not gonna
well,
put
he's
him
not
on a
gonna take it because
poster.
he's not gonna fight. Like he doesn't want to fight anymore. So that's the only reason I'm not like predicting it because he doesn't want that
Well,
responsibility.
no,
He wants
but
peace.
Sam doesn't want to be Captain America, and the series is gonna end with him being Captain America. I promise you. And Bucky doesn't want to fight, and he's gonna end up fighting. Like yeah, I guess I'm on the different side. Like I think the way they've made Bucky in these movies, I just don't think he could be Captain America at all. I just don't think he's in the mindset. And I also just think like, hey, you guys remember that guy that killed Tony's parents and all this? Yeah, he's the new Cap. Now I know that's not him, but like, just from a logistical standpoint, doesn't look the greatest. So
I
I think Falcon will still be Captain America when the show ends.
I don't like. Are you thinking they're actually gonna become Captain America like
Yes.
2.0? I don't think they're gonna take
He
that
he will have a
title.
new costume. It's because it's happening in the comics. He's gonna have a new costume. It's gonna be all American
Mm.
deckled out. Just because already with them introducing U.S. Agent, who's now the new Captain America, to me that's gonna be like we knew that was coming, but this is gonna be like realizing no, we need a good. It doesn't matter what powers, what strength. We need a good man as Captain America. And I don't know if the government decides that, or even Sam just looks at like, look at the last person that took up a shield. At least I know, even if I can't be Steve Rogers, I can be the best person to try to be Steve Rogers. You
Well,
know,
he
where other
already
people.
blew it. Like what? Like Steve's one like first rule of thumb. Like people have agendas. Sure enough, the fucking guy at the Smithsonian Museum has freaking agendas. Like, and Sam should have like that's the one thing Sam should have known, right?
Well, he just thought it was gonna be in a fucking museum.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. Like, I guess he should know, but it's just like it wasn't even a big shady deal. Because I was always wondering if before the series, if they were just gonna take the shield from him, and be like, no, you can't have that. But
Right.
no, he gave it up because they're gonna do this museum
And
thing.
nothing
Because
happened. Like there was no world-ending event or whatever to warrant them just getting a new Captain America. They're just like, yeah, we're just gonna do it.
well, there's I think the starting of the tax of what's that group called?
Oh,
The
The
Hand.
Flag Smashers, right?
yeah.
What did you call them?
The Hand.
No, it wasn't the hand. The Flag Smashers. So like I think because those are starting to pop up and they could be looked as like terrorist attacks, you
Yeah.
want like your American hero to be there. So I think that was the impetus for, hey, we need a new Captain America. But I think the second they got that shield, they already had a plan. Like I think they were just waiting to unveil new Captain America, but they knew who they were gonna pick right away. And this was like a way to, and we got our answer that they didn't do a old Steve as of right now didn't die. They just kind of did like this tribute museum and kind of made it sound. It sounds like the public does just think Captain America's dead. Where if there's like rumors that he's not, he's like Elvis, like that guy that was with Falcon. Like, oh, did they ship him off to the moon? And I love that line when he's walking away. He's like, where are you going? He's like, oh, nothing, just moon stuff. And it was just like, oh yeah, that's fucking really cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think he will be Cap.
Just getting to that little Smithsonian like spot
Mhm.
when him and Rhodey, where it was just like a memorial sort of situation, and they had like rest in peace like Bucky Barnes and all that stuff. Um, it's just interesting, like that guy, like like how is he going to therapy and stuff? Is it just like the government that pays for? Like how does that work?
Well, I was gonna say, so when he was talking to the girl, and that was like a fun little meet cute of like, hey, he wants to ask you out, would you go on a date? And it's just like, I can't wait to see how that goes. Like, I hope they don't just drop it. And I don't mean like I need her to be fucking Mary Jane and like like the majority of the episodes, but I do want to see the moment where they go on a date and he has to like reveal that he has a metal arm, you know, like stuff like that, or like telepath. So I hope there is a bit more to it. But did she or did he ever introduce himself as Bucky to her?
I don't think so, eh?
So I think that they've, because she said we got that clarification that they've pardoned him, so he's no longer like crimes aren't held against him. So I don't know if we'll get this revealed next episode. He might just be Bucky or Buchanan or James because his real name is James. I'm assuming he got like a new personality, like a new identity. Sorry, not
Yeah.
he always has a new personality, but like a new identity. So that's why I think same thing. People think he's dead, but he is, like I said, James B. somewhere living else.
Yeah, because you'd think like if they're telling the public that this guy's dead, it's like, hey, you gotta hide, man, or like change your face or something.
He
Um,
cut his hair.
yeah, looking handsome.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting the first time she sees that big ass girthy metal arm he's got.
Oh, she'll
Yeah.
love it. That thing is like worth how much? Like billions of dollars of vibranium.
Of
Like,
vibranium, yeah. She's like, you didn't know my secret turn on is vibranium. I love it. Look at my closet.
And then he'll get the shield, just like in Taylor's headcanon.
Yeah, he gets the shield, he gets the girl,
oh
he gets
yeah.
everything. Taylor just is like the number one Bucky fanboy. Like he beats Thanos, everything like that.
Oh yeah.
So Taylor, talking about the man you don't want to be Captain America, apparently. What did you think about Sam in this episode? Also, we've talked a little bit about him. We saw a lot with his family. We saw a lot with Captain America: The Shield, which we'll talk about. We had heard he was going to be in the series, but I like that right off the bat. We didn't know that Don Cheadle was going to be in that episode, and he just
Yeah.
popped up. I really like that, so that was cool. So, what do you think about Sam?
Yeah, I love how it just started off with him going on this adventure. I so love it. I love that we got to see him square
Yeah.
off against the dude from Winter Soldier again, popping off. Like that was cool.
George St. Pierre.
The Leaper.
Yeah, it was just his whole like rescue operation was awesome. I love his relationship with this boots on the ground guy. Just kind of going in like doing his
You
own
would.
investigations. Like it just
That's
feels.
you. You're the boots on the ground
Oh
guy.
yeah, I'm totally him.
Your binoculars.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Sam.
Would you do that
Awesome.
same thing when Sam comes back flying with the dude?
Throw
Would
the
you get
helmet
it?
up, I'd be so
Yeah,
hyped.
and he's
yeah.
like, yeah, I.
We
that's
did
where
it,
it's like-
Sam.
I was like, what are we?
did it. But no, it's just I love that whole setup. I love the dynamic with like his family just trying to fit back in with the whole process of being gone for 5 years. Again, that's crazy. We got a little bit of that with obviously Monica Rambeau just coming back into the world, and now it's just to have again another main character. Obviously, they didn't really emphasize or go into too much when I feel like when Wanda was gone, when she came back, like everything that she lost pre-snap anyways. But now
yeah.
you have someone who is a main hero, and again, like he said, his nephews are grown up. They're older. They weren't not like little babies anymore, which is crazy for him. But again, and maybe this is just something that I have an issue with, is because, and this would be like a family dynamic, I guess. But if I had a sister who was saying like, I was taking care of the bills and raising the kids and stuff like that. Like, I know you fought monsters. I'd be like, okay, you know what? I just faced Thanos and the goddamn whole Black Order and the Legion. Like, that is like the top tier. Like, I don't think anything can compare to fighting in the battle with Thanos. Maybe against like Galactus at some point, but I feel
Single
like
parenthood, you know.
would you guys like again like not in this
Would
world,
you
but in the
guys?
superhero
Kirklin,
world
who has no kids.
Yeah, would you
but would you
bros-
guys rank that like being a single parent? And still, obviously, she's doing a great job. She's making it through, and kudos to her. But would you rank that as like being unblipped back into the battle against Thanos? Like, how would that compare?
I don't think that is the comparison she was just trying to make. I think it's just kind of he gets to shut off like. So of course he has his own set of problems, right? And those are world-ending problems. So yeah, those are bigger by default. But I think she's trying to say is like you get to go off and just power around with the Avengers, fight crime, whatnot. Where it's like I'm trying to make a living, raise these kids to be right, stuff like that. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like yes, technically him fighting like I don't know, like Thanos is gonna be technically harder than disciplining your kid. But at the end of the day, it's just like he knows how to do that. Where disciplining your kid, teaching them, instilling will in them, that stuff's
That's a
hard.
Thanos
It's not
job.
easy. Yeah, exactly. Everything balances, everything should be. So I don't think it's that comparison that she was exactly making, saying that it's harder or tougher to raise a kid. Just like he doesn't have to really worry about that responsibility, but he's trying to now, as it seems in the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's similar. I feel like they're two different things, and I mean for him, he doesn't have like the luggage of like kids, like a responsibility in that sense. It's like
Yeah.
he's got to save the world, but he also kind of gets to step away from just like the base, I don't know, reality of like a normal human being, raising a kid and all these things.
I fixed it. Let's see. Before we continue, we should take an ad break, because why not? So we're going to do that right now. So yeah, on we're back. As far as Sam, I liked the family dynamic because anytime a family or a sibling gets introduced, I always get worried because I just go, what's gonna happen here? Are they gonna be comedic relief? Are they gonna bring down the show? And I think it did two things well. It informed more like kind of Sam who he was before and just like who he is as a person, seeing him interact with the family. But two, we got more of that like blip stuff I kind of talk about in the non-spoilers. But that moment where the bank dealer is just like, yeah, like because you don't have a track record or a proof of record of working these past 5 years, you don't like
It's like
you
such a
can't.
loophole, like classic
Yeah,
banking thing.
and you can't get
Fuckers.
you can't get this loan because of that. And there's two things. One, I think that's full on like real life. Like that happens all the time where it's like okay. And then two, that was another interjection at race. And as far as her going, like it's funny that there's all these problems, but all these things or these things just only seem to happen to us. Now I'm sure there's some fucking person out there that's being oblivious. It's just like, oh, just this family has bad luck. Yeah, they could be saying that, but like between that and Sam saying like we need a hero that's fit for today, and I know there's gonna be so many stupid people like, oh, why does he think he needs like a black hero? It's like because like times are still really bad, and he's not saying it to put down Captain America. Like what, that white man wasn't right. It's just like no, you just need a hero of times to inspire others. So I liked the race up being put in there, but I did like the relationship with his sister and the family. Like I said, like Taylor's talking about when he's like, yeah, I left as babies and they are now little men. So I think there's going to be fun stuff to play with there with the dynamic going forward. And I think they did a good job. Same thing, I don't know the actress who played the sister, but I really liked her. So that's good. She wasn't like a Hayward casting where it's like, oh no, like we don't have much budget left and we got just an average actor. I liked her. I liked everything they did with him and the family and kind of trying to deal with the 5 years later after the snap with this family now. So I enjoyed it.
Just a quick question. When they were leaving the bank, the sister made a comment of saying like something along the lines of like they don't understand like all the stuff like that dad did for them, all the like not like a hard work, but the way she said it made it sound like he was someone who is more along the lines of like hero status. I feel like, is there any
Hmm.
background to that, or like was she just saying like just general like our dad was a hard worker or whatever? Because the way she said it just made me think like, okay, I feel like there's more to this character.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I could see him also still just being a military guy, right? And that's something you would say if someone's thought through a couple
Right.
wars or
Did they
whatnot
say
for
he was
you.
military? I just thought he was
No,
a
but
fisherman.
was he just a fisherman?
He's a
Well,
lighthouse keeper.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if they maybe she said something else about him.
He was a pretty fucking good fisherman then, because he must have been bringing lots of food or whatnot. So yeah, I don't know that. I'll have to rewatch, but I don't know the status of Sam's dad in this show.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I really like the sister brother dynamic. I thought like those two on screen together were really good. I'm excited to see more of those two. Um, and yeah, like I really liked like the real world problems that she was bringing up. Of we don't really see too much of that in the MCU. It's usually like higher than life type things. Like superheroes with superhero problems, not
Mhm.
like an everyday man problem or everyday woman problem being like a single mom. Um,
Trying to get a loan for your business.
yeah, and just touching upon like the race stuff, other than like Travis was kind of mentioning just in newscasts that would probably be like a theme of the show, which really ties hand in hand with kind of just the state of the world right now. And
Mm.
I thought the way that they did it was really well done. I thought it was sprinkled in there in such a way that it didn't just seem like so overtly like obvious that like this is the problem and this is the theme that we're going to be tackling,
Yeah.
because I feel like that stuff, although the message is important, like it can just be cheesy if you're just really trying to force it in there. And I think it's being, at least from what I'm getting in this first episode, I thought it was done in a really well done way. And I can only imagine, like, just with how this episode ends, and um, like Sam just feels so betrayed, pretty much, about like the fact that he respected Steve so much that he didn't really want to like, carry
Yeah.
the shield, and like that's
One week
what that.
later.
Yeah, and then like there's just this another slim down white dude that's just gonna be representing, like, I can only imagine like just what's going on in his head, and like just the I like that moment was really important, I think, and
Mhm.
it got me excited to see more of the rest of the season.
Well, and like you said, because that's one of the first things that Rhodey asked him. He's like, "Why didn't you take up the mantle?" And he tells him why and how the importance of it. And like we don't need another Captain America. We just need Steve Rogers. Like this shield wasn't about Captain America. It was about the man and who was in the costume and stuff like that. And the fact that, yeah, as right now, it just seems like it's some random willy nilly. And you also have to think that, like, I imagine for days he struggled with that decision of, do
Yeah.
I honor him become Captain America? Do I give up the shield? So it's just like for something he made. Well, and this is not even days. If you think about this, when he gave up the shield, this is 6 months later. So he's had that shield for half a year, probably fucking tormenting him in his closet,
Yeah.
right? So it's like he probably spent legitimately half a year thinking about like what should I do with this shield that Steve gave me, and then a week later the government's like, oh, I know what we could do. Here you go, new Steve Rogers, new Captain America. That you can get someone that kind of looks like Chris Evans in like a bizarro, not as attractive way. No offense to Wyatt Russell, the son of the great Kurt Russell, but I did like that we got that reveal of him though, because I think that was a good like hanger, and I think they've not shown him in marketing. So if there's anybody, like I'd always say, like my mom or someone like that, that's not been paying attention to this, I think for them that will be a really cool hook to be like, what is going on here? Like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? So I thought that was the perfect way to end this episode, to leave you wanting more and just like story points. But you're right. Like I think Anthony Mackie. I think Sebastian Stan got better stuff to work with, but I still think he's just kind of like a decent actor. I don't think he's anything amazing, but Anthony Mackie was great in this episode because you got to see that scene like that where he's really upset. But the scene where he was at the bank, like trying to get the photos of just like, here, take the picture of me. Like he's really, really good. Like he's gotten better with every performance as far as his real life, but also just the MCU. But I really like that, the funny stuff he did good, the hero stuff, the badass stuff, the family caring stuff, just kind of everything. So he did a really good job.
No, yeah, he crushed it. I felt. I love that that he's like, do I know you from somewhere? He's like,
yeah,
a
come
Falcon.
on.
Yeah, and they're like high five and all that stuff. It's, yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah,
Can I sign your arms? No, you can't, or whatever. Like, oh, picture with the. Can I say? Can I get a picture of you with your
sign
arms?
your
Yeah.
arms? No,
No.
big teller. You can't touch my arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you just mentioned, like when he's very like distraught at like just watching the news, the emotion that he was showing, like the hype moments. I thought there was just so many layers that we got just from this first episode of him acting wise. There's another scene in, I forget in particular what it was, but he just, it might have been even when he was like with Rhodey at like the honorable, the memorial thing for Steve. Like he just showed so much like emotion, and he's just like, he's such a good like guy to be leading a show like this. I feel like it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so it is two head honchos, but I still feel like Anthony Mackie is like the lead in my head canon. I don't know.
If you ask Taylor, it's gonna switch by the end of the show. Taylor's gonna be
I
like the
didn't
government.
make that my prediction.
He's gonna push back. He's
No,
gonna
you're
push
putting
up the
words in
white
my
guy.
mouth.
I want
never-
a white
Captain
dude.
America.
I want a white dude as Captain America.
I never officially
Yeah.
stated that was my prediction.
Hey guys, I don't know about you, but I really like Captain America as a white dude. Am I right? And then the Geek verse
Those are
is
some
over.
big words put in my mouth. I did not
Yeah.
say those words.
No, we're just joking. But like, no, it will be interesting to see where he ends up. Taylor, you have anything to add more on Sam? I know we might talk about more, but just in general.
No, I don't really have much. Again, like, well, I guess the Rhodey stuff, like, that was unexpected. I didn't know. I don't remember at least if I was aware he was in the show, but him.
Boom,
and his,
looking for this.
Yeah.
He too, like a month ago spoiled it himself on a podcast. He mentioned that he filmed something for Falcon and Winter Soldier. I was like, thanks, dude, but I was not expecting it right here. And that makes me happy that going down the line, that even if we kind of had some ideas of rumors, that we could get some surprises, just kind of like that. Because that's what I love about the connected universe is this character makes sense to be there. He's going to be there for one scene. They're going to have an interaction that has like kind of progression on the story, Sam's character, and then if they ever meet back up in a movie, another series, they already have that back and forth established. They already kind of did, but it's just like stuff like that just works great. So I lost my train of thought. So go ahead.
Well, it gives me hope because I'd love to see Anthony Mackie pop off and like even for like a cameo in Armor Wars or something like that. With
Oh,
Rhodey.
yeah.
Like I'd love to see that.
Oh, and don't worry, he's gonna be in the Avengers. Taylor as Captain America.
Yes, he will.
You should look it up though. When you're not talking, look up his Captain America Falcon suit. It's really smooth in the comics. It's quite nice looking. So if we get that live action, oh baby.
I'll give it a Google. You just to backtrack onto U.S. Agent.
You're rubbing your nipples there,
Uh,
Travis. That
Of
was a
course
little.
not.
he is. uh,
It's
just
cold.
backtrack on U.S. Agent. I thought it was interesting how that brief scene.
I
at
really
the-
like him.
yeah, great character.
yeah.
He
yeah,
just
it seems like a good
he
Captain
holds
America.
that shield very well.
Yeah.
No, the thing that I thought was really, really odd is the first thing that I caught onto is the back shot when he had the sidearm on his hip. I was like, God, that's just so shitty that he has to have a gun. Like that's so un-Captain America like to have
No,
a
and
sidearm.
again, no offense to Wyatt Russell, but no America's ass either to me. He was not look. He's looking pretty slim in that suit. You
It
know,
was
like
reminded me of like the one that we retroed that kept.
yes, they should have got him. That same actor. Guys, I'm not feeling good. Can you pull over? Go check out our Captain America. Thank you, Kirk, for reminding me. If you like this, we did a retrospective for the 1990 Captain America, and that was also quite a ride. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's interesting what's gonna happen next week with him because we got the reveal of U.S. Agent right away. So it's like, okay, I feel like next week kind of has to be the origin of how did he get this situation. Not necessarily. I'm not saying like a Agatha like flashback episode, but I could see something similar to that as far as showing a bunch of stuff of how he got here because obviously him becoming a new Captain America feels like it's pretty important. So I don't think it's just a one day decision.
I'm very intrigued to how they like deal with this character because I feel like just for us the viewers, like we just naturally kind of see this guy as the villain because he's just not Steve Rogers. You know, he's
Yeah.
kind of the guy that's replacing what Sam or Bucky, you know, the new Captain America. Um, but like, like, is he just gonna be kind of an actor stand-in that's like, guys, like, you know, like I'm just like
Mm.
they put me in this role, or is it like, fuck
He's
you
just getting
guys, I
beaten
am
the
Captain
shit out
America.
by Falcon. It's like,
Yeah, like
I'm just an actor. Like,
I'm very curious how they're gonna tackle him, and yeah,
Yeah, Falcon just fucking up with his wings and everything like that. Bucky comes in with his big arm and everything. It's kind of like Iron Man 3 when they do the Mandarin reveal and Ben Kingsley's just like Trevor Slattery or whatever, and he's just like watching his soccer or football and everything like that. But
question for you guys. So
Mhm.
obviously we learn now he retired the shield to the Smithsonian, and they obviously had their plan set in motion like as soon as they got him on board to return
Mhm.
the shield. And so at
bastards.
what point do we see Falcon get the shield back? Does he steal it and then go into his backyard throwing it around and like practicing, or like how does he
I
get
like
it back from U.S.
Travis's
Agent?
I like Travis's version where he just beats the shit out of him and then takes it.
Next episode, he just shows up to that fucking press conference and just beats him in front of everybody. No, I was thinking that because we had that scene of Bucky and Sam throwing the shield around,
Mhm.
testing out everything, and I was like, "This is weird. Like, where does it come in?" I do think, and this will be a trash story, so I think that might be one of the last scenes of the show because Kirkland dropped a gift today when I was saying, "Oh man, new MCU content today," and it was that moment of Sam and Bucky. It's in the trailers. They like do grasp each other's hands and they give each other like a shoulder, like kind of embrace and everything like that. That's not something they would do. All the other movies in the past, they've shown that they don't really get along and they're like a odd couple or something like that. So it's like, why are they practically hugging here? I think it's
Yeah.
because they've been through a lot, and that ending is literally like Bucky putting Falcon through like Captain America training. Like, okay, if you're gonna do this, we're gonna get you ready. So that I think those scenes could be the last episode.
Yeah, no, that's totally possible because just throughout this episode, I was thinking of the trailers and how from the trailers it felt like a buddy cop movie at points because they had really good chemistry on
Mm.
screen. They were kind of like jabbing off each other and just had like the one-liners going. But like, um, for one, like just for how we started with Bucky in this episode, he was so mentally distraught. Like I feel like he's not really in a mood to just be playing around with someone. You know, like I do think there is going to be some sort of change that happens for Bucky or maybe even both characters for us to
Mhm.
get to that point. So I think you might be right. Like that stuff might be right near the end. Like I don't know.
And it's interesting they didn't have a scene together at all. Like I was not expecting that in this
Yeah.
episode. I was expecting kind of right away. And I guess yeah, Taylor shut this. I didn't shut this up, but like I think the action set piece was really good. I think that was smart because WandaVision at the end had action, but for a while it was always like, well, if you like MCU and the action, the style, where is that for you in WandaVision? And it really didn't come to like the last two episodes where this was a very kind of James Bond esque scene where it's like we're gonna give you 15 minutes of just a really cool action hijinks, lots of cool choreography in the air. As again, GSP was back, stuff like that. So I think they did a good job in that scene, really establishing Falcon, one, on his own, he's still fighting, but two, just like, hey, this will have action, because the rest of the episode is like more just like a character study. It's more like, what have these people been through and what are they doing right now? There's not really any action, so the fact that they dedicated so much at the beginning to it, I think, was a really smart move.
Yeah, I really like that action sequence. I'm not the biggest fan of shaky cam. I felt
Mhm.
like there's a couple times, and I might have just been tired. Like
No, they
I
did a couple times, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I had a nap like right before this, so I feel like I was still a little groggy at that point, and I'm getting
The
all
whole episode
disoriented.
was shaky cam, guys.
Jeez, you're killing me. Um, I really
What
like
happened there? Did you
threw
just
him
laugh
off.
and the laugh reverberate back into your voice?
I like absorb my laugh. Yeah, it imploded. Um, I like seeing Red Wing in there too,
Mhm.
popping off. It's just a really cool. Because in the comics, is it a real Falcon?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so. Um, yeah, so like that was cool. I like just he's got such a cool outfit. I think he's like top notch superhero outfit. I am
Notch.
very excited now to see like a possible, just next version one if he is taking the Captain America mantle or if he's Captain America side like sidekick.
Yeah.
What-
What was I gonna say? What did we think about? We learned a little bit about the Flag Smashers, as far as this is a group of, yeah. As of right now, I'd say they're terrorists. They're a group of terrorists who preferred life with the blip. So I think you got a few like Thanos sympathizers, like maybe whatever he was preaching as far as why he was doing it. I don't think they've heard that preach, but they might have the same thing as far as like more food, more this, more that. So it was very interesting that that's the route they're taking. And again, I don't know who the main villain is. Is it Use the Agent? Is it these guys? Is it gonna be Zemo? Is it a collection? Is it someone we don't know? That is the fun thing. But I liked the little kind of mini introduction we got. I definitely want to see more character development with these, I don't know, masked figures. So I liked it. It worked for me.
Well,
Yeah.
one of them was the actress from Solo.
Yes.
Is she not? Yeah. So there, I think she was briefly in this episode.
Wait, from what? Sorry.
Oh yeah. Can't backtrack on that. You
Who?
already admitted to it.
No, I thought you said Polo, the game Polo. She loves Polo. But I heard you say
yeah.
Solo. I didn't. Did they make? Did they do something with Han Solo?
Oh, this
with
son of a
Disney?
bitch. It's too early, too
Son
late
of
for
a
this
bitch.
shit. But no, like she was
Son bitch.
she was briefly in this episode. She was the one, like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she was handing the bags out, and then yeah, freaking
Well,
what?
and just like Falcon's, like, I don't know, how did they jump to the conclusion that that guy was the leader? Like, just because he beat him up, like he was like, this is the leader of the Flag
Well,
Smashers. I was like,
I
I guess.
Yeah, that is kind of a jump, but I guess they
Yeah.
just assumed because that was the dude that jumped out of the bank. Yeah, like everyone else was just kind of like decoys, I guess.
Yeah. True.
But that is a jump though, because just like assuming the main, like the guy carrying the bags is the leader. Typically, that's not the case, but
No, he's just the big guy, you know. So
yeah, the heavy.
Did they think that was the Winter Soldier? Because Boots on the Ground guy and Anthony Mackie were talking, and he's like, like, do you think this is this person? He's like, no, like, let's keep this between us. I was thinking, like, what? Do they think it's Bucky doing his stuff? And we know that obviously Anthony Mackie's trying to connect with Bucky, but Bucky
Yeah,
is
he's texting
ignoring
him.
his calls and his texts.
Mm.
Yeah. So, like, do you think that maybe Falcon knows that he's off doing these things, like r- reparations to his list, or like the people he's hurt?
no, I don't think so. I think they'll kind of reveal that, and I think also because Bucky doesn't seem the most open person. So if when he gets that text from Falcon, I don't think he'd be like, "Yeah, well, I'm hanging out with the guy who I killed his son, and I just really want to work up to telling him." No, I think he doesn't really know. That's a good thing. They'll both meet up each other and see what they've been doing, because I don't think they really know each other's story, which makes sense in the continuity as far as this movie so far, or the series. Sorry.
I got a question with the Bucky and the old man.
Mhm.
So do you think that he knew that that was the old, like that was the grandpa or father of that guy?
You think it's
Yeah.
a coincidence that he just started hanging out with
Well,
them?
yeah, I know. Well, that happens so much in these movies that I wouldn't even put it out of question. But I just it seemed like he like went to his apartment and then saw the photo and was like, "Oh damn, like
Oh,
that's who
you're the
that is."
father of the person I killed.
Yeah,
Not again. I can't make a friend anywhere. That killed all their parents.
I killed so many people.
I thought he was gonna
Yeah.
tell him and actually like give him like a ton of cash. Like this is brutal, but like I'm glad he
Here's
said
my
like
arm.
I forgot to like here's my arm. I'm glad he
Here's Cap's
paid up
shield.
though.
Enjoy that.
You're Captain America now.
Yeah.
Some old Asian man.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Let me see if there's any other notes. I guess we talked about him briefly, but I liked Rhodey being in here. I'm excited for Armor Wars. I think they used him well here. Like he had talked about he was gonna be it. So yeah, I liked what he brought to the table. You know, nothing crazy, but it's always good seeing characters we love. So it worked for me.
Was there any other cameos that you guys noticed that I completely forgot about?
Not that I saw. Maybe in the second watch, but not on
Yeah.
this one. No.
So I'm gonna lay down like a prediction here for you guys, like to just chime in, and we'll revisit it in episode 6 to see whether you guys your takes on it is true or not. Do you predict or think that U.S. agent will die in this series?
Like I said, it's tough for me because I feel like either him or Zemo's going to be an anti-hero. It's one or the other. So it just once I get Zemo and see what route he's going down, I'll be able to answer that. But I my gut is going to say no because I think he'll be a prime candidate for the Thunderbolts as far as the villains that got redeemed themselves. So I think he will make it out.
Yeah, I can kind of see both ways. I'm gonna say he will die just to be different.
All right,
He's gonna get his throat slit by Falcon's wings.
Yeah, Red Wing just comes in. Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna go with him being. I was gonna say being like dying, but you kind of convinced me, Travis, on like the Thunderbolts. I feel like they need to start stacking up their roster for that. So I'm gonna
They
say
could have
alive.
they could have U.S. Sorry, what's his name?
U.S. Agent John Walker.
Okay, U.S. agent. He dies by Falcon, and then his son like takes up the mantle, becomes the new U.S. agent.
U.S. Agent Junior. Let's see here. I think no. I think I said everything about this, unless I'm missing anything in particular. But I think I hit all my notes.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say.
Yeah.
I am exhausted.
Well, you've exhausted your notes and you're exhausted, right?
Yes,
Both of those.
double
So
entendre.
I'm gonna do the same thing like Kirkland did. I'm gonna wait till the series is over. Taylor, are you doing that as well? Or are you reviewing
Well,
episode by
I
episode?
started to review episode by episode for WandaVision, then I got shafted. So I mean,
We didn't choose to shaft you though. You shaft
it
yourself.
just kind of like vanished. I didn't get the opportunity. I
Speak up.
I I like rating things. I like rating everything individually. I mean, for me, this episode, it was a strong 4 out of 5 for me. Like it was just
I didn't know you were doing the 5 scale, so I was really concerned for a second. I thought you were doing like
4
this
out
is
of
a
10.
solid 4 out of 10 for me.
Horrible
It's like
start.
wow.
uh,
Yeah, not great start for Falcon Winter Soldier.
No, like yeah. In closing, it's just for me. I love seeing Falcon back in here. I love seeing Winter Soldier back in here. Again, we didn't see them interact, but they're separate story arcs, or yeah, story arcs, and their trajectories and what they were facing post Endgame was just it was really intriguing. You have someone dealing with all these memories of just 106 years, and then you have another person dealing with 5 years of things that they missed, like someone with the memories and someone without, and they're just trying to rebuild their life to something. And again, like it's just I feel like they are two pieces of a puzzle that I can't wait to see combined and just to see this journey that they go on and work towards.
Yeah, and it will be exciting to see like do they just meet up as far as he actually gets a hold of him or a hold of Bucky, or is it the classic like 80s action where yeah they're both on like a adventure and they just link up and it's like well we'd best work together. So I think that's the route it's gonna go. But I'm excited to see what that link is. Like how do we get them together? Because right now Bucky's just trying to get laid. That's all he's doing right
Yeah.
now, right? And he's trying to get laid and he's trying to fix his like even like they say his brain's fixed, but it's like sure you fix the schematics of like you can't make him a fucking killing machine, but he's still messed up. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's like he said he's not wanting to get into battle. So I feel like it has to be something big that's gonna pull him in. So, but
That
yeah,
old man is just like the ultimate wingman too. Like
oh
how
yeah,
how clean that was. Like Jesus.
He wants to take you out tomorrow. He did no work, Bucky. He just sat there while he did it all. But
I liked his line there too. He's like, it's like a dance, you know. I gotta ease into it.
yeah. Well, there's our thoughts for the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. Like we said, me and Kirklin will rate them later on. But for me, and I think it sounds like for everybody, this was one you could put in the win column, and we're all excited to see what's going to happen. And I'm excited again. I will watch again before next week. I always do with Emily, but I will watch again for little moments and this and that. And yeah, if the show, not if the whole show's like this, but if the show is going to be focused on character, sign me up because I like the character stuff. So I'm excited for the next 5 weeks to see where we end up after that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. We'll be back next week, and we promise you, it'll not be boring.
Bye bye.
Farewell.